good morning. I've got a beginner session lined up for you today. So it's part 3, I think, of my sort of series. I'll probably do 4 in the series and then just change it to a mixed ability. So anyway, I hope you're all doing okay. Nobody's going too crazy, stir crazy yet. Keep moving. Hopefully, if you're doing the Pilates with me, that's going to be helpful. So just a quick disclaimer. Just to make sure that you exercise responsibly. I'm not there to tell you or to see how you're aligning the body, so you have to take that responsibility upon yourself to work safely. If anything feels uncomfortable, you probably shouldn't be doing it. So please stop. If you feel sick or dizzy or any discomfort, then again, please stop what you're doing. If you're exercising on your own, you need to make sure that you've got at least a phone nearby and decide whether it's actually safe for you to exercise on your own in the current situation. So basically, we're going to be learning a little bit more about the method of Pilates, which involves the core. So let me get my visual. I want you to think of the core as this is the midriff of your body, and we've got, it's like a cylinder. Underneath, you've got the pelvic floor, so we engage the pelvic floor, and then we've got the deep stabilizing muscle. It's like a corset around you. We pull in through the tummy button to engage that muscle, and then we use the breath to help, which is the diaphragm at the top of our cylinder. So that is your core. Pelvic floor, pulling in through the TBA, use the breath. So I'm going to keep reiterating that throughout. We'll go nice and slowly so that you can get that kind of movement in your mind and in the body, so the body remembers these things a lot. So we're trying to go, so be patient with it. Once you've learned that method and it becomes more natural for you to draw the pelvic floor up, pull in through the tummy, exhale and move, that will become second nature once you've done Pilates for a while. So we're just trying to get you to instill that within yourself. So that takes time and patience and practice. So you can revisit this video as much as you like, and the previous ones that I've done. Focus on getting that movement, that engaging through the core more as natural as you can. Sorry, I'm falling over my words today. Maybe I've had too much coffee. Anyway, enough said. Let's make a start. So you're going to learn by doing. So first of all, we're going to think about our standing setup. So we start with the feet together. Then we're going to open up those toes like a ballerina, followed by your heels. When you look down, your feet want to be parallel, hip distance apart. Think about your knees, the alignment of your knees. You want them facing forward. This all sounds like really basic stuff, but you'd be surprised how many sort of slightly out of alignment things we have going on with the body. So we want to start with that correct alignment before we even start moving. So feet, knees, hips facing the front, lined up. We're going to draw the shoulders up towards your ears, press them behind you, and then draw the shoulder blades down. So we are keeping the shoulder girdle away from your ears. A lot of people hold tension here. We want to release, relax, draw them down. So we're activating those muscles between the shoulder blades, the scapula, and also just in this sort of mid-back area to draw the shoulder blades down. Lovely. Let's draw them down and back. We're going to grow nice and tall out of the crown of your head. So we are lengthening. A lot of Pilates, we give a lot of visual cues. So think about lengthening through the crown of your head. But we keep the chin parallel to the floor. A lot of people, again, I see this a lot, chins come up towards the ceiling because when I say lengthen through the spine, we lift through the chin. Keep that chin parallel to the floor and gently tuck it in so that you can actually feel the length down the back of the neck. So draw those shoulders up again behind and draw them down towards your heels. So we're going to find a neutral spine in our standing position. So keep those knees gently soft so we're not locking them out. I'm going to go sideways. We don't want to lock the knees out, gently soften them. And we're going to tuck the tailbone underneath you. And then we're going to let the tailbone go out behind you. So we are mobilising this lower part of the spine, tucking the bottom under, and then pushing it out behind you. So we'll all have our own range of movement, some more than others. Upper body stays nice and still. We're still thinking of lengthening through the spine, through the crown of the head. And then we want to find the point in the middle of those two extremes, and that should give us a neutral spine. Another point to think about is you've got these two hip bones, these two bony bits that stick out, and your pubic bone. They should be level on the same plane. So now we've got our neutral spine. So we're going to mobilise the body. No, we're not. We're going to engage the core. So remember that my pink cylinder there, the pink roller. So let's think about drawing up the pelvic floor. So we're going to imagine that it is a lift inside the body. It's that muscle underneath that you use to stop yourself in the middle of a wee. We're going to draw that up. Imagine it's the building, and we're going to draw it up to floor number 10, which is the top floor. 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold it there for a breath or two. Exhale, we're going to lower 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So let's draw that pelvic floor up again. We draw it up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pulling in through the tummy, you should feel a gentle tightening here. Don't worry if you're not, you will get more aware of it as we go on. Let's lower that pelvic floor. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Pause. Hold it at floor number 5. Take a breath in. And we're going to lower it to 3. So lower, 4, 3. Hold it there. That's where we're going to keep it. So gently drawing up 30%. So that's our pelvic floor. We're going to engage through the TVA now. So I'm going to give you another analogy. Imagine that you are tightening, you've got a belt around you, and you are going to pull that belt up to notch number 10. So you're really pulling your belly button in towards your spine. You are shrinking the size of your waist, trying to pull that belt. Release that belt. Ooh, and let that breath come in. Let's pull that belt tight again, up to notch number 10 as you exhale. Can you feel that tightening here in the lower belly? I hope so. That's what we're aiming for. So we're at notch number 10. We're really pulling that belly button in towards the spine. Now we're going to release that belt to notch number 5. So we're still gently pulling in. And then we can release again to notch number 3. So this is where we want to maintain, we want to have this as your sort of neutral point. So gently pulling up, gently pulling in. Next bit is to incorporate the breath. So we're going to take a breath in through the nose. And as you exhale through the mouth, draw up and draw in. So we draw up that pelvic floor, we draw in through the belly button as we exhale. Now we are fully engaged through the core. Let's hold that engagement here while we breathe into the side of the ribs. Not up here to the chest. Try to breathe deeper. And then as you exhale, pull up, pull in. A couple of breaths more. So we're going to incorporate this movement with movement of the body now. So we're going to think about the rib cage stacked on top of those hips. So we've got those hips, that pelvis in a neutral alignment, and the ribs are soft. So sometimes people arch through the back and the ribs are kind of poking out. So think about softening through the ribs, pulling in through the tummy. We want to have that neutral alignment, a little bit of a curve here at the lower back, but the ribs nice and soft. So from here, we're going to move through the shoulders, keep the shoulders down and back. It's a breath in, and we're going to raise one arm up towards the ceiling. Keep the elbows nice and straight. Exhale to change. Keeping the shoulders back and down. Keeping the rib cage soft. We're pulling up and pulling in. This is our toy soldier arms, mobilizing through the shoulders. Lengthen those arms away. Stabilizing through the torso using your core engagement. Last one. And let's bring both arms down. So we're now going to do some dumb waiter arms. So keep those elbows into the side, tuck them in as much as you can. If you can stick them onto your ribs, then that's fine. You may find you can't, depends on how your musculature is. So palms facing up towards the ceiling. It's a breath in. Keep the shoulders down and back. Exhale, open up. Keep the elbows tucked in, and then inhale to close. So we're working the rotator cuff muscles here. This is an important movement. Anyone who's had a frozen shoulder before will have found that this is usually the first movement that you lose. So let's keep that flexibility and that mobility. So exhale, keep the spine neutral. It's my cat. And last one. And we're going to pause it here. Reaching those arms out to the side. Keep the shoulders down and back. Turn the palms to face as far round as you can. Palms back up towards the ceiling. Draw the elbows in and return. So all the while, your rib cage is staying nice and soft. Pulling up, pulling in, and we're just mobilizing through those shoulders at the moment. And back in. Trying to feel nice and open across the collarbone. Last one. We're going to keep palms facing forwards, and we'll just do some circles. So again, think about the rib cage. We don't want that moving, so pull up, pull in, hold nice and stable. Breathing in through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Lengthening those arms. And then we're going to change the direction. Hello, boo boo. Hello, boo boo. Last one. And then we lower those hands down on beside you. Lovely. We're going to do some roll downs now, just to come down onto the mat. So this is what my cat has just brought me in. It's not a mouse. It's this. This is what he brings to us. Crazy boy. I'm glad it's not a mouse, but he thinks it's a mouse. Anyway, let's do our roll downs. So feet, knees, hips lined up. Nice pull in through the tummy. We're going to mobilize through that spine as we tuck the chin to the chest, pulling in through the tummy. Walk those hands down your legs if you want to. Otherwise, let the arms hang nice and long and heavy. And we come down just as far as you feel comfortable. We've got a lovely stretch up the back of the legs, but those knees are soft. And the arms are hanging and your head and neck are relaxed. Pull up through the tummy, and the pelvic floor as we restack. Shoulders back and down, nice and tall. Ready to go again. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Coming back up, restacking through the spine. Draw the shoulders back and down and lengthen through the crown of the head. Breath in, ready to go again. Last one. Keeping those knees soft. Mobilising each vertebrae one at a time. Relaxing through the shoulders and the head. Let's wait here for a moment. And I'm going to let you sway those arms about. Let them feel really heavy in the socket. Don't move the upper body. We're just moving the arms. So we get that movement through the shoulder. And then let the head hang nice and heavy as you just nod the head. And then you can shake the head. So it's as if you're saying yes and no. Moving the shoulders as well. So gravity is helping put some space in that joint. And we're going to come down onto the mat into a seated position. Sorry, something's come up on my screen. I'm just going to get rid of that. So down onto the mat in a seated position. And we're going to do a roll back. So we're going to do the roll back prep. So we want a nice neutral spine. So again, thinking about the hip bones and the pubic bone, this time they want to be vertical so that you've got that straight back here. If you're tight in the lower back here or tight in the hamstrings, this can sometimes pull you down. So we're aiming for this neutral spine. And this might be challenging to start with, but it will improve. So holding on to the back of the thighs initially, we're going to take a breath in, draw up the pelvic floor. As you exhale, you're scooping that belly button towards the spine, really pulling it in. As you tuck the bottom under, stretch through the lower back, make a big C shape with the spine, keep the shoulders down and relaxed. And then we'll come down to about halfway. Then we're going to take a breath in. And as you exhale, you're going to pull the tummy button in a little bit deeper. Draw yourself up to that lovely neutral spine. Ready to go again. Elbows stay wide. We make that C shape through the spine. Shoulders are down and back. A little gap between your chin and your chest. Think about length still through the back of the neck. Breath in. Exhale. Drawing yourself back up to neutral. Exhale, pull up and pull in. So we're engaging the core, the shoulders are down, length through the neck. Down we come halfway. Maybe you can go a bit further this time. It's a breath in. Exhale, pulling in, drawing yourself back up. Find that lovely neutral spine at the end. Grow nice and tall. Same again as we exhale, we tuck the tailbone under. This protects the lower back as we've got a nice strong pull in through the tummy. So think about the core as a dimmer switch. So sometimes you only want to switch on your core as much as you need to, the minimum that you need. So some exercises are going to require more control through the core, through your center. So exhale. As you exhale, you turn up the dimmer switch to the level, the minimum level required. Let's do last one. Tucking that bottom under. C shape through the spine. Relax through the shoulders. Breath in. Exhale. nice and tall. Now, we're going to straighten out those legs. And we're just going to come down, come onto your side, come down onto the mat, onto your back, into our semi-supine position. So we have feet flat on the floor. Let's bring the feet together, then open up the toes, followed by your heels, and they should be not that hip distance apart. Knees are bent, lined up with your hips. So you should have a sort of the gap of a fist between your knees. Draw those arms down by your side, shoulders away from your ears. Gently tuck the chin, and we're going to find that neutral spine. So we always start in neutral for the majority of the exercises. So let's find that neutral. So we're going to make a diamond shape with the hands, place the thumbs underneath your belly button. The rest of your hands are going to fall over your belly. And imagine you've got a marble in the middle of that diamond, and you're going to roll that marble down towards your thumbs. And then you're going to roll that marble down towards your fingertips. So let's roll that marble to the thumbs again. And we're going to roll that marble down towards your fingertips. And then we're going to bring that marble to the middle of the diamond and hold it there. So that should give you a little gap under your lower back. So your hip bones and your pubic bone, this time they are parallel to the ceiling, but they are level. So bring those hands down by your side. So we're going to do an upper body curl up. So pull up the pelvic floor, pull in through the tummy. It's a breath in, and we start by lifting, tucking the chin to lift the back of the head, then the back of the shoulders, and then we lift from the sternum to reach down towards your heels. And you can see that your pelvis is still neutral. Lower back down. So breath in. Exhale, we engage the core, lift the back of the head, back of the shoulders, lift from the sternum to reach down towards your heels. And then release back down, rolling the spine one vertebrae at a time. Breath in, engage through the core, lift the back of the head, back of the shoulders, and reach down. Eyes want to be looking beneath your knees. Try not to tuck your bottom under. Think about that neutral alignment of the spine. Pubic bone and hip bones level. So you can see what's going on. Breath in, we tuck the chin, lift the back of the head. And roll back down. Let's do one more. Now this time, we're going to bring the arms up and over as we roll back down. Keep the shoulders back and down, and just bring your arms, try and bring them onto the floor overhead. You may or may not be able to do that, but just go as far as you are keeping your rib cage soft, not arching through the back. We've just got that neutral spine. So breath in, exhale, engage through the core, bring the arms up towards the ceiling. Then we're going to lift the back of the head, come up into that position, reaching down towards the heels, pulling in through the pelvic floor and the abdominals, and then we return back down onto the mat. Arms overhead, neutral spine. Breath in, ribs soft, engage through the core. The arms come up to the ceiling first, and then we lift the back of the head. So it's all connected, reaching down towards your heels. Let's do the last couple. Keep the rib cage soft as those arms go up and over. Breath in, exhale. Start by raising the arms up towards the ceiling. Then lifting the back of the head, lifting the shoulders and reaching. And lower back down. And we can just swoop those arms back down to your side. So we're going to do some knee folds next. up to tabletop, and then we are going to connect the two together, the upper body and the legs. So it's a breath in, fingertips on your hip bones just to feel if there's any movement. So it's a breath in, pull up the pelvic floor, pull that belly button down towards the mat. As you exhale, bringing one leg up to tabletop. No movement through the hips. Hold as you inhale, exhale, we're going to lower. And it's a breath in. We do the other leg. Exhale, the other leg. Comes up to tabletop. And then we're going to lower. Inhale, exhale. And lower. Last one. Inhale, exhale. Shoulders floating up towards the ceiling. You can take a towel, roll it up, however much you need, and just place it on the back of the head, back of the skull, so that you get that nice chin tuck and that alignment through the back of the neck. So let's take both legs up into tabletop now. So we're going to take a breath in. As you exhale, bring one leg up to tabletop. Knees on top of your hips. Don't let that knee come too far forward. A sort of straight hand away is usually a good indicator. Take a breath in. We're going to really fire up that core now as we bring that second leg to tabletop. Have you still got that little that gap under your spine? Just a little gap, and the neutral pelvis. Let's breathe wide into the ribs as we are pulling in through the core. So nice deep breaths in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Pulling in through the tummy. Drawing up the pelvic floor. Another breath in. And as you exhale, we'll lower the first leg onto the floor. Breath in. Exhale to lower the other leg. And the pelvis is staying nice and neutral and stable. So we're going to add in some arms and some legs, some upper body now. So breath in, exhale, pull up the pelvic floor, pull in through the belly, turn on that core as you bring the first leg to tabletop. And it's a breath in, exhale, fire up that core a little bit deeper, bring the second leg up to tabletop. So we're now going to do that upper body curl up. Keep the hands by the side to start with. It's a breath in. As you exhale, we lift the back of the head, back of the shoulders, and lift from the sternum as you reach down with the hands parallel to the mat. And then we're going to lower. Breath in. Ready to go again. And here, let's do some beats. And then lower. Breath in, exhale, pull up, pull in and reach. Beat the arms. And lower. We'll do one more. Inhale, exhale. Beat the arms. And lower. Breath in. Exhale, we lower one leg. Breath in. Exhale, we lower the other leg. So nice, just to release, we might want to do a full body stretch. So stretch those arms and legs away now. Lovely. So we're going to move on to a shoulder bridge now. So we'll take the towel out from underneath your head. I'm just going to move something here. So we're going to move on to our shoulder bridge. So our feet can come a little bit closer to the bottom here. We're looking to get the heels maybe underneath the knees, but they're still hip distance apart. So make sure that you're not sticking your feet together. We want that nice stable base of support. So hands down by your side, Again, we're pulling up and pulling in, so we are engaging through the center. The ribs are soft, and we're going to breathe in. Exhale, press down through the heels, tuck the bottom up towards the ceiling, and then peel your spine away from the mat, coming up into your shoulder bridge. So pressing down through those heels is going to fire up these glutes, and we want those hips to be nicely lined up between your shoulders, your hips, and your knees. So rib cage is soft. So if we're arching too much, you'll find that the ribs are poking up to the ceiling. So just soften them down to line up with the front of the hips. Nice pull in through the tummy. Lengthen those hands down and away. And we're going to do some heel lifts. So just lifting one heel without dropping through the hips. And then we're going to lower that down. So as you lift, often we tend to fold in the middle. So keep squeezing through the bottom to keep nice and high through the hips. So be aware of whether you are dropping in the middle as you lift your heel away from the floor. Toes stay on the floor, we're just lifting a heel. Try to relax through the upper body. Exhale, lift and lower. You can place fingertips on your hip bones, will help you get some feedback. Otherwise, relax them by your side. Last couple on each side, alternating from one to the other. Still breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Make sure you're not holding your breath. And we're pulling up the pelvic floor and we're pulling the belly button down towards the mat so that we're nice and stable through the center. Last one. And last one on the other leg. And we're gently going to float back down onto the mat, one vertebrae at a time. Excellent. So we're going to have a little bit of a hamstring stretch. So you're going to need a belt, or this is my dressing gown belt, or maybe a towel if it's long enough, or a TheraBand if you actually have one of those at home. It's not unheard of. I'm trying to use household items just in case you don't have these yourself. So we're going to stretch the back of this hamstring. And we need to have a straight leg. In order to do that, if you have a bent leg, your hamstring you're just not going to get that lengthening. So even if your leg is here and you can't get it any higher, that's fine. We'll just hold it there. Use the belt just to support that leg so that you've got that stretch down the back of the leg. So just come as far as feels comfortable for you. Your other leg is going to be bent, but you're not putting any weight on it. I don't want you tucking your bottom under. So relax the back of your pelvis on the mat. And then just draw that leg in the belt up to wherever you start feeling that lengthening. And then we're going to take a few breaths here. So in through the nose, out through the mouth. We're just going to relax into that lovely stretch. Shouldn't be painful. So we'll take a nice deep breath in now. And as you exhale, you're just going to pull that stretch a little bit deeper. Let's straighten up that bent leg. Try to keep that straight leg in the band where it is. So we'll deepen that stretch a little bit more. And we're going to hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lovely. You can bend that knee now. Swap your feet over. The other leg is bent, but again, just gently resting on the floor. We're not pressing down through it. So we take that straight leg, that other straight leg, and draw it up as far as feels comfortable for you. Make sure your bottom is not being lifted away from the mat. Keep pressing down through the back of the pelvis into the mat. And we're just going to enjoy that stretch up the back of your hamstring, the back of your thigh. Whilst we're doing this, I want you to feel that that limb is lengthening away as well. So just lengthen towards the ceiling. We'll take a nice deep breath in now. And as you exhale, pull that stretch a little bit deeper. We can straighten up that bent leg. Lengthen this leg away. And we're going to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Put that band to one side. Don't forget you can use the towel under the back of your head whilst we're doing some of these exercises just to help you get that nice tuck. So bringing yourself back to that semi-supine position. We're going to keep the hips level in their neutral position. So just check under that lower back. You've got that natural curve. Your hip bones and your pubic bone are level. When you lay your hands across, you can feel that they're on the same plane, parallel to the ceiling above you. Hands resting down by your side. Feet hip distance apart, knees are bent. We're going to do some hip rolls, some knee rolls rather, just to make sure that we can separate the movement of the legs, the thighs, with the stability of the pelvis. So we're going to stop the pelvis from rolling while we move the legs over to one side. So breath in, exhale, we pull up the pelvic floor, we scoop the belly down, and the knees are going to go over to one side. So just do it slowly as you exhale. And the arms a little bit wider. As far as you're able to keep this hip on the mat. Breath in. Let's bring those knees back up to the center. And we'll do the same on the other side. The soles of your feet are going to peel away from the mat. Back of your hips are going to stay on the mat. So depending on how mobile you are through the hip joint, let's take it over to the other side. So we're keeping the pelvis nice and stable, and we're just learning that we can move the leg without moving through the pelvis too. Let's do one more on each side. Inhale at the center, exhale, pulling up and pulling in here to stabilize the pelvis. Back to the middle. Last one. And back to the middle. So we're going to do some leg circles next. So it's a breath in. As you exhale, bring one knee up to tabletop, one leg up to tabletop. So keep that knee above the hip. And we're going to fire up the core, keep the hips nice and neutral. We've got that neutral spine. So we're going to inhale to lower your leg down, not to the floor, but just a little bit. And then exhale as we do a half circle with the knee back to the start. Inhale and then exhale. That leg comes out to the side and you're pulling in through those abdominals. to keep the hips nice and stable. As we bring that leg down, you inhale and exhale, circle it out to the side and back. Inhale, exhale, circle it out to the side and back. One more. Exhale, circle it out to the side and back to the center. We'll do the other way now. So the hips are going to want to lift and shift about as you do this. So it's going to be an inhale to prepare and exhale. So the leg goes out to the side, fire up that core. Inhale back to the center and exhale back to the middle. Inhale, exhale. Last one. And we'll exhale to lower and do the same on the other side. So breath in. Exhale, we bring that leg up to tabletop. So again, thinking about pulling up the pelvic floor, pulling in through the belly button. And we inhale to lower the leg. Exhale as we circle back and round. Inhale, exhale. Keep the pelvis nice and stable. Inhale, exhale, circle back and round. Let's stay here. We're going to reverse this. So it's inhale to prepare. Exhale to circle that leg out to the side. Inhale back to the center. And exhale. So you should be switching on the core as that exhale, as you circle that leg out to the side. Last one. Exhale to lower. So those are your leg circles. So we can just bring that knee in, have a little bit of a hug. Let's change over to the other side. Bring that in for a hug. Lovely. So we're going to do an exercise now to work the side of the body. So just rolling onto your side, the safest way, and then push yourself up. You don't need a towel. So we're going to come into a side lying, a side position. This is not side lying, this is different. So feet are on top of each other, your knees are bent. Your feet can come a little bit sort of behind. You use the mat to help you line yourself up. So your feet are going to be slightly behind you and your knees are bent and bottom's also kind of going to be towards the mat, not quite on the back edge of the mat. And then we're going to come down onto our elbow. So you've got your elbow underneath your shoulder. So take your time to make sure that that is underneath, because if it's out here, you're going to be putting an awful lot of strain on your shoulder. And equally, you don't want the arm to be coming underneath you. So just make sure that you've got that. And then your hips are on top of each other. You're not rolling back and you're not rolling forward. It'd be hard to roll forwards, but you're not rolling back. So think about hips, knees, and feet. So we're going to start with the arm just lying down your side, pulling in through the waist to draw yourself. So we're not sagging into the shoulder or sagging into the waist. Think about being nice and active. Pull in through the tummy, draw the waist away, up into the grow out of your shoulder, and it's a breath in. And as you exhale, We're just going to lift the arm up towards the ceiling and lift the body. So this is our T, and then we're going to reach over with the arm as we look down onto the mat. We're not twisting through the shoulders. Back to the T, and then lower. So try not to come forwards or backwards. It's a straight lift from the hip onto the knees. So start by lifting the arm up, and then we lift the body and we're into the T. Then the arm comes over and we look down at the mat. Come back to the T and lower. Let's do one more. Arm comes up, we lift the body away from the mat, lengthen through the limbs, then the arm comes over as you look down onto the mat. Back to the T and lower. Well done. Let's straighten out through the body now. We use the arm underneath you, nice and straight, and we've got a straight line through the body. Use the back edge of the mat to line you up. This is our side lying position. Place the towel between your ear and your shoulder to help line up the spine nicely. Hips are stacked on top of each other, knees and feet. Shoulders too, so sometimes the shoulder tries to roll forwards. Just make sure that you're drawing it back. And a little gap under that lower waist. Good pull in through the tummy and the pelvic floor. So we really feel that this is your powerhouse now. I find this is the exercise where I really feel it almost the most. It's a definite relaxing through the upper body, and all the work comes from the powerhouse. So it's a breath in, draw up the pelvic floor, pull in through the belly, and then lengthen those feet away. Both legs nice and long. Hold it as you inhale, and then we lower as you exhale. This is your torpedo. Exhale, send those feet away. So it's more about length through the legs, and the lift will happen all by itself. And lower. Don't collapse onto the mat through the waist. Keep that nice and active, that little gap. So if I had a letter, I could post that letter through that gap. And lower. Breath in. Exhale, we send those feet away. Hold it while you inhale. Exhale to lower. Inhale, ready to go again. And lower. Lovely. We're going to bend those knees. Feet are flat. Feet are lined up with the bottom and your back, with the knees in front. So we're not folding up in the middle. We're still got that neutral spine, but it's just the knees that are bent. Feet stay together. Nice pull in through the tummy. Don't roll back with this one. Squeeze that bottom. Exhale, we open through the knees. Don't roll back. You should really feel it deep in the glutes. And then we close. This is the clam. Breath in. Exhale. Squeeze the bottom. Open the knees. Feet stay together. Don't roll back. Last couple. Good. Squeeze through the bottom. Relax with the upper body. We're still pulling in and pulling up, so we have turned that core on. It is still switched on. Just not so much because we don't need to have it fired up quite so much for this exercise. Last one. Let's change ends. I always do one side straight after the other, because you'd be surprised how, if we did something else in between, how you would forget what side you started on. I know you think you wouldn't, but I see it all the time. So I just do it straight away. So we're going to do our side bend. So feet on the mat. Again, your knees, just bring your bottom a little bit forward so you're not quite so bent in the middle there. Elbow underneath your shoulder. Nice pull in, nice and active through the waist. Top arm across the body. So it's a breath in. As you exhale, we lift the arm up towards the ceiling. Lift the hips. Don't roll forwards. Arm comes over. We stretch. And then look down at the mat. Try not to bring the arms forward or roll through the shoulders. I'm just going to move down a bit. Ready to go again. So nice pull up and pull in. Arm comes up towards the ceiling. We lift through the hips. Don't roll forwards. Arm comes over and we just look down at the mat. Back into our T. And lower. Ready to go again. Arm comes up. We lift through the hips, the side of the body. Reach over. Look down at the mat. Back into the T. And lower. Lovely. Let's straighten up and do our torpedo next. So we're going to straighten up along the mat, back edge of the mat. Place the towel between your ear and your shoulder. Hips on top of each other, shoulders on top of each other. That little gap under the lower waist so that we are pulling in and pulling up, nice and active. Top arm in front to support you. And it's a breath in. As you exhale, send those feet away. Lengthen those legs. Inhale. And exhale to lower. Keep that gap between your waist and the mat. Breath in, exhale. We lengthen those legs away. Really stretch them away. Hold. And then lower. Top arm to support you. Make sure that shoulder doesn't roll forwards. So find a comfortable position for that arm. You don't want to be holding onto the mat. Just bend it gently. Lengthen the legs away. Pull in through the tummy. Feel nice and strong. This really should feel like your center and your powerhouse. Breath in, exhale. Lift and lengthen. Last one. Inhale, exhale. And then lower. Let's do the clam next. So we're just bending those feet. You can feel the back edge of the mat. And if you've lined yourself up on the back edge of the mat, you should have the correct alignment now. So knees on top of each other. Quick pull in through that little waist again. Nice pull up and pull in. It's a breath in. As you exhale, squeeze through the bottom and open up through the knees. So make sure you don't roll back with the hips. It's almost worth pressing gently forwards with that top hip to make sure you're not rolling back. If you're rolling back, you won't feel the work deep in your glutes. Last one. We'll do one more. I think we did 5 on the other side. Last one. Squeeze through the bottom. Open through the knees. Perfect. We're going to work on our front now. Do an exercise called diamond press, which is going to bring you an awareness, I think, of the shoulder blades. Drawing them back. We're going to be working the muscles between the shoulder blades, that mid-back area, so the trapezius and the rhomboids. So we place your hands in front of your forehead in a sort of diamondy, triangle-y shape. And as you lay your head down onto the mat, your forehead is kind of on the thumbs, really. Tuck the chin. Elbows are wide, and then we're going to roll the shoulders so that you draw the shoulder blades down your back. So they're going to stay nice and active, and the rest of your lower half of your body can relax. So it's a breath in, and as you exhale, you've got the pelvic floor, you're pulling the abdominals in, and you lengthen through the crown of the head and gently press down through your hands to draw the shoulder blades down and back and lift up onto your sternum. So it's not a big lift. You can feel the shoulder blades being drawn down your back, and then we're going to lower. Inhale, ready to go again. So pressing down through the hands gently, draw the shoulders down, lengthen through the back of your neck. So don't lift your chin. If anything, you want to tuck the chin. And as you press gently down through your hands, you will feel the muscles in your middle of your back drawing those shoulder blades together. So just gently lifting and lowering. This is diamond press. As you pulling up through the pelvic floor and in through the abdominals, you want to gently tuck your bottom under, really, so that you are not using your lower back. So press your hips into the mat a little bit. So you get a slight tuck through the bottom. Pulling in through the tummy, pressing down through the hands. Doesn't look like much, but if you are doing it correctly, you will feel that you're working quite hard and firing up those muscles around the scapula. Nice strong core to protect your lower back. Last one. Excellent. So we're going to move on to some leg lifts. So we're going to fire up those glutes again. So use the towel underneath your forehead now, just to stop you from squashing your face into the mat. And then we're going to take your hands down to your sides now, and just bring your hands underneath your hip bones. So your hip bones could be in the palms of your hands, or you could have your fingertips on your hip bones, so whichever feels comfortable. And you should feel that the weight of both sides is even, and you're not particularly pressing down very hard. It's going to take a breath in, and as you exhale, squeeze through the bottom and lift and lengthen one leg away. Straight leg, so really long through the leg, and then you lower. Now what's going on with those hips? They want to stay stable. So as you lift and lengthen alternate sides, you can feel if you are lifting through the hips to make that movement. We want to use the glutes. So squeeze the bottom, lengthen that leg away, keep the hips even in your hands. So no movement, lifting or twisting. Keep it nice and slow. Exhale, squeeze and lengthen that leg. You should lift. The front of the thighs should come away from the mat. Don't bend those knees. Get cramped. We can add
an extra challenge here. So exhale, lift and lengthen, hold it and lengthen. Keep the hips nice and level, and then we're just going to take that leg out to the side, back to the center. It doesn't have to be much, doesn't have to be far, but you will feel that you're having to fire up that core to stop your hips from rolling over to the side. Come back to the center and lower. Let's do last two on each side. So lift and lengthen. Take it out to the side. Exhale, pull in through the core. Fire it up. Back to the middle and lower. Inhale, exhale. Pull up, pull in. Lengthen that leg. Out to the side. Feel what's going on with the pelvis. Should be nice and stable. And we've got last one. Squeeze through the bottom. Lift and lengthen. Out to the side. Fire up that core. Back to the middle. Out to the side. Come back to the middle. And lower. So we can come up onto all fours now. We're going to do some cat and cow. So just to lengthen the spine, we're going to arch the spine up towards the ceiling. Lower the head between your arms, so let it hang. Tuck the bottom under. Then we're going to lower the belly, lift the tail, draw the shoulders back away from your ears. Keep looking down at the mat. Let's go back into our angry cat. And down into cow again. Drop the belly, lift the tail, shoulders back away from your ears, and keep looking down at the mat. And we're going to find that neutral spine, and we'll just walk those hands round to one side. Get a bit of a few breaths here. And then we're going to walk those hands around to the other side. Let's come back to the middle. Place your hand across the body and then lower the shoulder into our thread the needle and reach through. Back to the middle. Same on the other side, again reaching through as you lower the shoulder. Back to the middle, open up those knees, keep the toes together, reach those hands away from you, lower the forearms onto the mat and just send your tail away in the opposite direction. Back onto all fours. We're going to pop those toes under and do one last roll up to standing. So walk those hands back, straighten up the legs. We're going to start restacking through the vertebrae. Coming back up to standing. So nice deep breath in. As you lift those arms up towards the ceiling, press those hips forward. Stretch through the front of the body. Hands down by your side. Give yourself a little clap. Well done. That was beginners part 3. Persevere with the Pilates because it might feel a bit slow, but we're working on getting that natural engagement of the core. Just come down here and it will become more and more natural and you'll be able to progress to other exercises. So thanks. I'll see you tomorrow. Mixed ability Pilates. I think, is it Thursday tomorrow, Friday? I don't even know what day of the week it is. I hope you're doing all right. Anyway, thank you for watching. Okay, take care. Stay safe. there.